It's time to find out who advances to the round of 16 in first place here in Group D, as we have Dayshi and Miniraser compete for that top spot.
I'm not sure about you, but I definitely thought to see Dayshi in the winners match today. San coming into this group, playing from Korea, was always going to be a very difficult task to be able to accomplish against Dayshi, I felt. But with Miniraser, this is what I didn't expect. I expected Targa.
Yeah, I would say I would go along with that. Targa's shown some very good ZVZ in the past, some very good control just in general over the Zerg race, and we saw that exemplified in the previous season, taking that 7th through 8th spot. And Miniraser, it's his debut, so this is a really, really good showing for him so far.
Yeah, Miniraser, who tried to qualify for WCS, just WCS in itself, not Premier League, but Challenger League last year. Didn't manage it 3 seasons in a row. But in 2014, with the new setup for Challenger, with the new qualification setup, did manage to squeeze in, and then was able to eliminate Todd 3-2. And now finds himself in Premier League, and he's already won 1 game against Targa, but now he goes up against Dayshi in his favored matchup, and I have to give the edge to Dayshi here.
He's defeated a Protoss, he's defeated a Zerg. Now, can he defeat the final race in Terran? As we jump into game at number 1, as it is Frost for our first game of this best of 3, spawning up to the top left-hand corner. Here representing Millennium, it is Dayshi, and up to the top right as our blue Zerg, representing Fnatic, it's Miniraser.
And the only time I would say, oh, cool spawning position for Miniraser here was if it would have been cross position.
Yeah.
These positions do have a slight edge in favor of the Terran player here. As establishing 4 bases is okay for Miniraser to do. They're all to the top right, but 2 of them are kind of close towards the Terran, is going to be expanding anyway. The north one's close to the potential 3rd of Dayshi if it's up to the north, and then of course the middle of the map is always going to be contained by Terran player usually if he's able to grab momentum, and that's not that far away either. So definitely have to favor Dayshi when it comes to the spawning locations. I wonder if he's going to open up with the new Korean style 11 barracks here we see quite a lot of recently. No, 12. We've seen a lot of Korean Terrans open up with 11 barracks and 11 gaps to be able to go for 3 Reapers instead of 2 Reapers. And it's had quite a large success rate, because 3 Reapers can deal a lot more damage, obviously, to the Queens, and then they come back stronger with the Hellions. And that stage of the game, with an extra Reaper, even though it sounds really small, just an extra Reaper, actually adds a lot of value.
And in general, we've seen Dayshi be very, very strong against Zergs in the past. I mean, there was one time at the very beginning of Heart of the Swarm, going on to the further stages of it, that he felt super confident in this matchup. And I'm wondering if that's actually carried over. I haven't spoken to him recently about it, but I know in the past he's had a lot of confidence here.
Yeah, he loves this matchup and still does now.
Okay, good.
He's very good at just making sure his build order is executed well, which means it's very mechanically driven. He gets all his barracks at the right time. He produces a lot of units at the right time. And he's great at splitting his Marines. He's actually got really good army control when it comes to the overall fights here. So I'm looking forward to seeing his display. We saw a pretty good display. Was it maybe from Bunny? I think it was from Bunny in Group A. Which player did he beat? It was Slivko. 2-0 and looked really, really good. And I'm expecting similar performances from Dayshi here.
Well, we'll see if Miniraser can hold off against the torrent through the mid-game of aggression that we may end up seeing from Dayshi. As for now, Dayshi's getting his first Reaper out, looking to go for that scout, and he does spot his opponent first. Noticeably, this SCV went down to the south of his natural first to spot if there was an Overlord there. Didn't spot that, so decides to go up to this northern location and gets that quick scout nicely.
Yeah, and this is just 2 standard builds. Reaper expansion into Hatchery, then Spawner Pool, then Gas just a little bit after here from both players. Have a guess. Is Miniraser a dog or cat man? What pet does he prefer, do you think?
He's Swedish, so I'm going to go with cat.
Ah, it's a dog. He loves his dogs over cats. I had the opportunity to ask him earlier.
You know, my logic was absolutely terrible on that, but I was going for it anyway. I was trying to sound really confident in it.
No, it's dogs. Have a guess as this Reaper harassment goes on. What type of music does Miniraser like?
Black metal.
No, classic rock.
Damn, that was close.
What? You won't guess this one. What's his favorite TV show?
Frasier.
No, Psych. I haven't seen it
What?
myself.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was either.
He's like just making something up.
No, I Googled it. I made sure it was real.
You actually Googled it?
I proved him before he went on the show.
Oh, good job,
Yeah,
good
I
job.
managed to sit down with him this afternoon, just have a quick chitter-chatter about his games and how he was expecting to, perform today. And I did mention at the start of the show, he's feeling very confident, no nerves or anything along the lines like that, so he's feeling good. And he's been working a lot on efficiency training, which is actually, it sounds kind of simple, and it is kind of simple, I guess. It's just efficiently managing your time better.
Okay.
Rather than spamming 12 hours of games a day, replay watching, going over your mistakes, and just being a lot more efficient. He's been working a lot on that in the last couple of months since being full-time. 2 Lings do squeeze past the initial Reapers here, and they do get an SCV kill.
Yeah, did all right.
So that's a nice little part there. But we do have a very normal setup from Miniraser, going for 3 hatcheries here quite early on. No further gas than after the initial circling speed. And he did spot the 3rd command center, which has been added on quite nicely timed.
And if one Reaper dies off, so slight miscalculation there from Dayshi in terms of dealing with that, as he did spot that the gas was coming in earlier on with that small poke out from the Reapers that didn't even get him a kill. So right now, Miniraser's done all right.
Yeah, and he's gone back into Gas's main base and added a 2nd extractor, which means he will be looking to throw down most likely the double evolution chamber. Not too far from now, and may even look to take a 3rd gas soon too. So he's playing a 5 queen opening. I was counting while I was waiting. It was my prolonging wait. 5 queen opening here. So of course 3 queens, lava injecting 2, go for the creep spread, and then there's the double evolution chamber for his 1/1 upgrades, and then we'll look for his layer after he starts 1/1 here. Spotting the 3rd command center so early on means he doesn't need to rush the layer out, doesn't need detection, doesn't need to rush the spire, and will focus on his upgrades quite early.
I do like Razor's being very aggressive with his creep spread here with these 3 queens at the front, because in these spawning positions, if you can get the creep starting escalating into the middle of the map, then you can try and hold your opponent back for quite a while. As normally Dayshi would like to be aggressive pretty early in this game in terms of his production.
Yeah, he does like that. Miniraser did set up a counterattack, by the way, but a full wall off with Marines in the bunker did deflect that quite easily there. But here comes the Hellion stage, where we are going to tickle the units. But there's quite a few Lings out already. There's 12, and there's about to be a couple more. So he is safe with 3 queens here, and he's actually going up to 6 in total. So we'll have a 3 queen and 16-odd Ling defense, which is more than fine. He's got his 1/1 and layer on the way. So a good game so far from Miniraser. No supply blocks, decent drone count, but also a pretty standard game from Dayshi. No really mistakes from his build. It's quite set up. He'll add on a couple of extra barracks in the next 20, 30 seconds. We'll look to take his 3rd. Very regular setup here.
Very feng shui as well. Very separated up here with his barracks. No, those ones aren't the same. Oh, Dayshi. Oh, well. That doesn't matter too much now. He's going to send in these Hellions on the right-hand side and try and poke on forwards. Gets a few Zerglings from the very beginning, very get-go. Nice angle, but in the end, it gets pushed away by queens.
I'm definitely getting more excited for this series the longer it goes on. I thought that this could be quite one-sided in favor of Dayshi, but so far, Miniraser's played a good game. He's made no mistakes. He's got his defense up. He's got his drone count high. His Baliness is well-timed. His layer is well-timed as well. He's going to go straight for the Spire and even a macro hatch immediately inside the main base. Just a very good, solid setup from him. His creep spread's looking pretty sexy as he takes his 4th base too. Overall looking good at this point. His overload speed's perfectly timed. Both players not really making mistakes. This will be a much longer series, and we are going to have a good old classic big army fight as the game goes on.
It's going to be nice. I'm looking forward to it. As Dayshi for now, he's moving into the middle of the map to try and secure himself a bit of control here, sending 2 Marines up to the north as well to try and pick off an Overlord if he could find one that would be blocking his expansion. But aside from that, Dayshi's decided to extend his 3rd base relatively towards his opponent's 3rd. So I won't be surprised if we just constantly see the aggression coming from Dayshi pretty soon.
Yeah, and with the likes of 4GG doing so well against Zerg recently, and then being on the same team here, definitely... Oh, the first mistake of the game! He blew his Balins up!
I don't know why I went up there to actually watch that, but there you go. We caught it just at the right time.
Polaris.
Thank you very much. Perfect metagame read there by me.
Oh, jeez. Look at he's not meant to lose. He's not meant to take this much damage. All the Lings and 2 queens. Oh, good God.
I am in shock. Were you going to say flabbergasted?
Yes, but then I stopped.
Oh,
that sucks.
what on earth?
Well, that's a lot of wasted
Miniraser.
units. That's kind of sucks. That hurt him a little bit. Daishi's now gone up in a bit of a lead here, as you see in supply-wise. He's about to drop at the north. Is it 2 medivacs or 1?
Just one.
Going to harass that drone line. That's a bit of a mistake there.
Imagine he would have been able to deal with that so much easier if he'd have had a few more banelings.
Yeah, and now he's only got one queen for creep spreading now because he lost 2.
Loses a drone even with this Reaper.
Yeah.
He's got 5 kills. How is this happening?
Yeah, this is a great setup here from Dayshi. He's controlled the middle of the map exactly how he needs to do. He stopped it from the creep spread going too far towards the middle and will continue to do that in the middle as he gets 2 more creep tumor kills. And he's just going to waypoint over.
Yeah.
And, you know, start dropping up towards the north, of course. But he's got a very strong army. He's starting to add these Wither Mines in.
Yeah, this is strong. He's got 2-2 on the way. Of course, it will finish up roughly just a little bit after Daishi's, but it's 3-3 that's really going to start a lot quicker than Miniraser's here as he now pushes onto creep, looking to push his opponent away.
Yeah, it's a great scan too. A lot of creep tumors died there. And this is the creep's going to start to recede, which means the fights Miniraser will have to take soon as Dayshi pressures that third base. It's going to be very difficult to take.
Morphing in a few more
Great Widow Mine spread as well. Look at that.
And they burrow all into and catch even a few Mutalisks. So really nice initial engagement here by Dayshi, who's just spreading out everywhere.
He's got great production. He's spread beautifully with his Marines. His mines are spread well. This fight, I don't think is going to go that well. I'm not feeling it going that well. +2 carapace about to finish, and then we are going to see it going. There is a small window where 2-2 is done, and the 2-2 isn't for the Terran player.
He's going to go. He's going to actually go for it. So this is the best opportunity he has of actually being able to clean this up. He catches a lot of the Marines, but at the same time, a lot of them have still survived.
Creep spread's low. Baneling count's low. Good spread there from Dayshi, and he wins that fight there.
A few more Banelings going to morph in as Miniraser is going to try and hold himself on, but Dayshi drops the scan. He sees how many Banelings are going to be morphing in, and he has just the rally point over. His production is really fully fledged right now with a lot of Marines rallied over there.
Yep, and 4th command center on the way. So Dayshi has his opponent exactly where he wants him. Exactly where he wants him, and is looking to finish him off in the next couple of minutes.
And all of this just spiraled out of control from that moment that we actually caught. But now Miniraser is trying to hold on.
Look at that spread of Marines again.
It's too difficult to actually engage into. Miniraser is having a really hard time. He has a lot of Lings, a lot of Banelings, but will they be able to do anything? There's still Widow Mines, and they catch so many of the Banelings. At the back there, the Marines might get cleaned up on this bottom side, but on the left, they're still powering on through, and they're killing off workers at this third.
Yeah, and this is fine to keep trading off like that, especially when he gets into the drone line over on that right-hand side. 3-3's on its way. The Marines are going to keep on rising. A 4th base is on the way. So if they keep trading on equal economies like this, then Daishi's just going to pull further and further ahead. And this is just great because obviously he has to continue to rebuild Banelings, not Mutalisk. The Mutalisk count's never climbing, which is the most cost-efficient unit that the Zerg have at this point. The Mutalisks, but they're not being built because he can't afford to.
3 Marines heading over to this 4th base so that they can bond some harassment, as well as 2 looking to move on around to this mineral line once again, and he gets yet another drone kill. Even just one drone kill here is very, very nicely done by Dayshi.
Yep, just really, really good. It's a beautiful setup here for Dayshi, and you know he's going to start to look to attack again in a second. He's rebuilt a lot of this army. He hasn't lost the Medivacs, which is another function that's meant to be used from the Mutalisk to pick those off and slow that overall production down. But nope, here comes another attack, and this one's much, much harder. There's a lot more units here for Dayshi.
Those Widow Mines don't even have to use the charges during that engagement. Actually, he selects that Widow Mine and stopped it from firing, looking to get better connections later on. That wasn't the best one, but he still has such a good spread, even on this creep. I don't think he's going to be able to get cleaned up. Baneling's coming from either side, but there's still a lot of Marines left over. He has to pick some of them up, has to bring the reinforcements.
That's a beautiful pickup, by the way.
Yeah, very
really nice pickup there.
And he just has too much left on the ground. This is just all completely gone downhill for Miniraser from the very beginning where he lost some of those Banelings.
Yeah, really good game from Dayshi, displaying his excellence in Terran versus Zerg, and he is now just stimming for victory as he destroys his base, and now the economy is heavily in favor of Dayshi, which of course means the army strength will continue to rise for the Frenchman, who starts the winners match with a bit of a successful game as he is going to take this one.
Very, very nicely done here for Dayshi, just capitalizing so strongly throughout with great spread, with great positioning, and still, I would be surprised if a single medevac had died during that. GG, Dayshi takes game number 1, and well done.
Yeah, well done.
Not much more to say.
Well done. Yeah, this is the perfect opportunity for Dayshi to go through in first place, to find himself in the round of 16 for the very first time, bear in mind. As when he played last year in Season 1 and Season 2, he only finished in the round of 32. In the first season, 3rd place in his group. Second season, 4th place. But now he is in prime position to move through to the round of 16. He's playing his favorite matchup against a player definitely that he can beat on any given day. And he's avoided San, which was the more dangerous opponent for him here. And of course, must take this opportunity. If he loses here, he would then have to potentially go up against Targa, who's shown excellent Zerg versus Terran over the last year or so, or San. So definitely a must-win here for Dayshi and his hopes for this year.
Things could have changed, though, there for Miniraser. He went into that mid-game nicely. I lost my mind when we caught those Banelings.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately for him, just didn't really have much to deal with that first push. If you don't have enough to deal with the first push, I mean, it was going to be difficult anyway, because Daishi's spreading is really, really good.
Yeah.
But if you don't have enough, then it just kind of... It comes back again, and you've got less, and it comes back again, you've got less, and I
feel like one of those games for Miniraser there is definitely, I've had a similar feeling, or I think a lot of people have, is where you make your own mistake, and you really want to tell him your mistake, because
it's like,
otherwise you just look like you got beaten up really hard.
Yeah.
It's like, I guess a big example would be, you load into a game, but it's 30 or 45 seconds delayed. You're alt-tabbed, it loaded, you didn't hear it count down, you jump into the game, it's a minute in, and then you start playing. And your opponent doesn't really realize he doesn't scout or something, and then he like kind of crushes you. And you're like, yeah, but I was a minute AFK, GG, and then leave. And I felt like that could have been like a Miniraser's, game where he was like, yeah, but I blew up 10 Banelings.
Yeah. Grr.
GG. And then if he didn't tell him in the game itself, he told him in the chat lobby, but he didn't. He's kind of kept that one secret.
Yeah.
As Dayshi probably thinking to himself, yeah, flex those biceps and triceps and his muscles and be like, that was a good game from me, without realizing his opponent's
Exactly.
mistake.
He just actually, there was no way he could have known, right? No way. But now we'll get on to game number 2. It's going to be Polar Knight for this, and I think if Miniraser goes into a similar situation, doesn't accidentally kill all his Banelings himself, he could be good. It could be fine.
Yeah, he looked really good up until that point. There was looking, like I said, it was looking to be set up for a really good longer game there in the Terran versus Zerg, but that mistake really just allowed Dayshi to jump on the opportunity, and as soon as he started picking off queens and traded off against, I mean, he killed 20 lings or something or more because the Banelings weren't there to help, so Dayshi found himself in great position. But Polar Knight, Dayshi's favored style bio here is going to be perfect on Polar Knight. I wonder if we'll see Miniraser take the back base for one of his bases, the 4th base, to be able to hide it and protect it back there. Yeah,
it's certainly a much easier to defend, but at the same time, it takes a while, right? And you have to dedicate to actually killing the rocks off. To actually kill it, so to actually secure that base, where the lings could be, doing something else. Maybe you don't want to invest in lings. There's so much that goes into it. It's weird how much actually goes into just clearing rocks to deal with a base, especially for a Zerg who has to dedicate lava. If you don't want to be in that position.
Great design, Browder. You rocked it.
That was actually terrible.
I know, the terrible jokes are the best.
No, yeah, you're right. All right, so Polar Knight is our map. Dayshi's currently 1 game up, 1 advancing away from to the round of 16 even. So let's just jump right on into it as we have spawning down to the south as our blue Zerg. It is Fnatic's Miniraser. And up to the north, we have our red Terran representing Millennium. Currently 1 game up, it's Dayshi.
Dayshi. I didn't actually ask any questions to Dayshi today about
favorite
music and dogs and stuff like Miniraser. But I did ask Miniraser other stuff.
Oh, okay. Let's...
Claris, when you play ladder games and you get angry, what do you do? Well, I mean, what calms you down? What do you do if you get angry?
If I was going to say, if I was in England, I would say play my drum kit. But here, I go and shout at someone on Ventrilo, one of my friends. Like, that's rubbish.
All right. Miniraser. A little bit angry. Just a little bit of tension there. What he does to calm himself down, which unfortunately he cannot do in the middle of a group. This is the perfect timing.
It seems so.
perfect timing.
Go
He
on.
likes to go for runs.
Oh, well.
I mean, now's not the right time.
He like sets a treadmill up right next to him. He's like,
Yes. Yes. So, I mean, maybe, yeah, treadmill next to him. I was going to say there's people that have stress balls. There's the crunchy thing.
Crunchy.
It's like
the knuckle crunch.
the knuckle cruncher thing. I don't know what exactly it is, but it's like a V shape.
I know what you mean.
You do that.
yeah.
People do that to just release tension a little bit.
That works.
But yeah, he likes to go for runs. This is not the time to take runs.
No.
Not the time at all.
You got
He's
any more?
actually gone for a drone scout here. This is interesting.
Yeah, it is.
I don't know what he's looking to do with this.
I guess it just wants confirmation, but
In case there's, well, it's always nice to have that scout, even though you might not get anything from that. But
Yeah.
he's just going to see a regular Reaper opening here. I guess he could have seen if it was a 2-Rax or something, if Dayshi was looking to clean it up like that. But Daishi's never been a cheeser in this matchup, ever,
Yeah.
almost.
It's kinda weird.
He almost always plays it the same. And that drone's just going to go back.
oh well. Bye-bye, drone. Do you have any more delightful information, Sean?
From Miniraser. I talked about how he left school in September, didn't I? To play
yes.
full time.
Yes, you did.
He only started to take StarCraft 2 serious at the end of Wings of Liberty, despite playing it from the beginning.
Right.
He was playing it just casually and chill out because he was in school and stuff.
Okay.
And he studies math.
Oh, he's one of those guys.
Yeah, he does like geometry, I think. I think like math and stuff like that.
I mean, geometry is a big part of math.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah.
Okay.
Dayshi, let me tell you something interesting about Dayshi. There is a picture of him topless on the internet.
is there?
Yes.
I mean, oh wait, no, didn't he lose a bet to Carmack?
Yes.
Yes. I remember this.
There's some fun facts for you guys
Yeah.
about these players.
Thank you for that final one. That's really important.
You're welcome.
Thanks. All right. Anyway, so
Got to learn who the players are in Premier League. We have to
that's true.
learn who they are.
We're bringing you
understand
the
them.
hard-hitting news here
Yes.
from WCS Europe. All right. Well, he actually has to pull drones off to deal with this Reaper initially. So, he's microing really. Oh! Oh! No!
Citizens arrest.
Get down. That was really well done. Jeez.
So
On fire.
Sick.
That was amazing.
That was a good catch.
That
yeah.
was brilliant. Hell yeah.
That's great. And the other Reaper elected to stay at home because of the 2 Zerglings, which came around last time. If you remember, there they are again. So the other Reaper stays back, and that's good for Miniraser. He's like, cool, going to this point of the game unharassed.
That was amazing. That's actually the best Reaper cleanup I've seen in a long time. Just with drones. That was cool.
These guys high on energy drinks right now.
Yeah, I'm just like, all right, if that's the case, that's how you want to be. These 2 Zerglings are opting not to go in anytime soon.
Waiting for Zergling speed by the looks of it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, waiting for maybe Hellions to leave as well. But we do have quite a regular setup coming from Dayshi here, who we're taking a second gas, and he did this in the previous game. We're taking the second gas after the command center here. He's looking to add on extra barracks, I think. Oh, no, it's a starport. I was going to say the extra barracks with the second gas at this point is it enables you to get the reactors quite nicely timed, but he adds on the starport here, and he's still going to go for a Banshee.
Well,
Coolio.
this could throw Miniraser off slightly.
Yeah.
He's not really preparing for that just yet. The Overlord's going to get in, though, and there's really not that many Marines to deny this scout from happening. So it could, well, when I say not many, I mean none. So he could get a full scout off quite happily here.
Yes, he will. Most likely.
So that's nice. Hey,
Well, he turns around.
he's actually added on a few lings up to the north again with those 2. So he's actually going to send in 6 this time. He needs to
Yeah.
wait till the Hellions move out, though.
Yep, he'll wait until the Hellions also start tickling and just kind of trying to slow the creep down where the Queens are. And then we'll look to move in is the best play there. He'll have to time it out nicely.
This Overlord
Didn't see it. Nope.
Oh.
No, he didn't see that. So this can be a big surprise here. And if we see him dedicate to the evolution chambers first, which it looks to be, by the way, then yes, he could get hurt. Yeah, there it is. So he's going to get hurt potentially by this cloak. He would have to use a spore crawler, which he may not even see at all until almost the last minute, which would threaten his third base on the left-hand side. Hellions and Banshees together are difficult to deal with. But I guess on the bright side, he does have a lot of Queens again. But it's just that detection that he may not have.
Yeah, the big question is where is the Banshee going to get rallied out? And he rallies it straight through the middle of the map.
This is very smart. Look at the link timing.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Really nice there. But the Lings,
they see it.
Spot the Banshee, which helps.
Banshee-roo.
Doesn't know if it is cloak or not, but I'm not sure if he was even looking, but a great wall off in time again by Dayshi. Spore Crawler start.
Yeah,
he spotted
perfect.
the Banshee. That was a nice use of those Lings for something. He didn't get the harassment done, but he definitely scouted.
Yeah, so really, really on form, on point here is Miniraser, as now his third base is going to be found and is going to start working away at it. He could lose drone. Oh, but he morphs in a Spore Crawler very quickly and then cancels it and goes for an extractor. And everything gets surrounded. What is happening in this game?
That's just a mistake. I don't know what he was even looking at there. Well, that's just
Banshee, maybe?
very bad.
Yeah, the Banshee's cloaked, so he was looking at the Banshee.
Oh, that's just not so good. That's very bad. Because that's 13 drones.
Yeah, that's
that
really...
could have been a lot more Lings, because he ideally would have killed. That was so few Lings.
Yeah.
It's only 16 Lings. You could kill that with 6 Hellions and a Reaper. So, and that's bad, but at least the Banshee's been able to get 5 kills. That's always nice.
Maybe even more, but these drones actually transitioning them down here. This is really good control by Dayshi, making up slightly for that slight disadvantage over at the third.
Yeah. And there's the rocks being taken at the back, or the ice on this map.
The ice. It's not rocks.
But he's lost the Banshee on the third, as he was controlling in the main, and lost the Banshee in the main. He lost both of the Banshees. He's lost the Banshee in the main, and the Banshee on the third, and all his harassment Hellions. This is, very opposite to what we saw previously by Dayshi, and played it out very strong and very good, but this was not so clean.
And whereas normally these Lings at the third base would be dancing around in front of those Hellions for ages and ages, trying to kill those off, trying to push them away, they now find that opportunity that we were mentioning before to kill off the ice. Yep. So this is really a really good setup and a really good opportunity here for Miniraser.
This is a beautiful opportunity for him to tie the series up. Beautiful.
Definitely. And now Daishi's taking his third base in an aggressive position once again. He's going to look to start rallying eventually, but it's going to be heavily slowed down, and it's going to be greeted by a very strong army from Miniraser once it actually comes along.
And the creep spread's pretty good too. He just needs to further extend it. Creep is ready to go. Needs to send that out there, but is focusing on this Banshee for the time being. Because that's going to be a very important part of this game, is how much creep is on that left platform next to the Xel'Naga Tower, because that's where Daishi's going to attack from.
Yeah, that is certainly assault position. Dayshi now is setting himself up his third base, transitioning over a load of SCVs, adding on bunkers, making sure he's hunkered down and good to go, just in case his opponent wants to go for a counterattack. Because in this regard, unless Dayshi gets a really good engagement off on this platform, which is where the action's going to be.
Yeah, it's all going to be on that platform.
Yeah. This is going to be difficult for Dayshi.
So much freedom. Remember the Hellions? When was that? Ages ago.
Yeah,
the Banshees ages ago. And since then, Miniraser's drone, creep spread, got the fourth base. Is in great shape. He's creep spreading throughout the middle now, which is really pushing that creep out, which is good. There's actually a Banshee in the middle there, which was threatening to stop some creep, but did pull back. But this is really good. Really, really good for Miniraser at this moment.
Yeah. And
just needs that +2 melee. Oopsie daisy.
Slight misrally here from Dayshi on some of these Marines that are now popping out from the added on barracks, and as well as 2 SCVs that have been spotted now, so he's going to send those over. Okay, so he corrects all of that, but he doesn't know about his opponent's fourth base. He may be able to infer it after what's gone on in this game because of how free his units have been to do things. But now Dayshi is going to start what he usually does, separating out those Widow Mines and looking to pressure.
He actually didn't have a scan. He doesn't have a scan.
Ugh.
So he actually can't deal with the creep right now, and he needs to start getting rid of that.
And that was good separation of those Zerglings at the front to kill off these Widow Mines, because they only got like 1 to 3 Zerglings each, really not too much.
And the Widow Mines are going to die off quite fast, and more creep is being spread.
This is a really good setup here for Miniraser, but Dayshi at the same time has been really on point with his macro behind all of this as he pushes forwards with a lot of Marines. 2-2's on the way, but for Miniraser, only
every single creep tumor.
Ooh, wait.
Every single creep tumor.
He never started +2 melee.
No, I mentioned that just now. Well, not just now, but a while back. But
okay.
It is bad. He does kind of need that at this point. It would have been almost, a perfect position to be in if he had got that. And he may even just forget about it, assuming that both of those completed.
Yeah, that's right, especially since you need Hive to start 3-3, so he would never go back to actually check if +2 weapons was done unless he's clicking on his units and really being avid about having a look at his upgrades, but you don't normally do that.
He's got a very large gas income. He's got a lot of Banelings, a decent muta count. He's about to go up to 35 Banelings.
And these Banelings, actually that was an amazing split by Dayshi. Actually fantastic. He lost very little there against so many Banelings.
Was that a fight he needed to take, Kalaris, Miniraser? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Because what is he protecting on that right-hand side? There's no base. You don't really need to fight unless he approaches up your natural there, which is a lot more creep spread. I would say that was a mistake to take a fight there. He lost a lot. It was a great spread from Dayshi, who did capitalize on that opportunity.
That was very, very good control by the Terran. Now, Miniraser, with those Mutalisks at the front, is trying to keep his opponent pinned back slightly, not really allowing him to move forwards all too much. And Dayshi seems still in a defensive position, but he could go again.
He may not think his opponent has a fourth. That definitely could be the case. Adding on bunkers in the third base and playing defensively there would suggest he didn't think there was a fourth base, but it is at the back. Is that scan on the fourth?
No.
Oh.
It was on the creep.
Okay, never mind.
But you're right. I mean, he went over to that right-hand side. He was like, right, where's your fourth? Where's your fourth? Where's your fourth? And that's what he was looking for, and he didn't see one, so maybe he does think that.
Baneling counterattack to the third.
Nice attempt, but it's all walled off. Oh, they will eventually actually get in there,
There's
though.
one Marine.
Yeah, that's actually going to kill quite a few. Oh, well, bye-bye, SCVs. That was nice.
Yeah, beautiful attack. Nice, 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 nice. And a good flank setup here from Miniraser. If Dayshi clamps through the middle here,
and he's going to actually go for it here on either side. Will these Banelings be able to clamp down on it? And I think they will catch a lot of these. But the Marines up to the north still survive for a good portion of this. And despite a great engagement by Miniraser, Dayshi's still powering through.
Yeah, Dayshi down in supply, but there are a lot more units streaming through the middle map. Imagine if you had +2 melee. It would help these Lings out a little bit when they are fighting these Marines.
These 62 Lings need to get out right now. Those Banelings actually didn't do too bad for themselves, but still, Dayshi's just keep on going.
Yeah. And he cannot let his economy or Mutalisk count be broken. His Mutalisk count lost quite a few, but cannot lose any more. Only 9. Needs to kind of stabilize at this point. He's got the Hive on the way. He's looking better and better as long as the game goes on, but he cannot let his economy be broken on this third base.
Pushing on forwards once again here is Dayshi. Meanwhile, he's trying to claim his expansion down over on the right-hand side for his fourth, and he's losing a lot of these queens. This position has been almost sacrificed here for Miniraser. He has to be careful. He has to bring in this army. Will he be able to shut all this away? Those Banelings moving forward once again. There certainly is, but the splits are really good once again. That splitting is really strong. I mean, he gets cleaned up eventually and will be pushed away, but the splits traded off for a lot of Banelings.
Yeah, he's just got to keep on lava injecting, keep on producing. He's pushed Dayshi all the way back. This is very, very good here. 14 additional Mutalisks. That economy on 4 bases is really helping out. And if we look back to the beginning of this game, it does relate to the Hellions and Banshees being lost so early on that allowed Miniraser to set up. And he didn't let his economy be touched on the left-hand side. He stayed strong. It looked very close to being broken, but he stabilized. And he's got a lot more Banelings being morphed in. And once again, he's now on the aggressive foot.
Catches himself a medevac and will have to swing on out of there because of those Marines pressuring from the bottom.
But Dayshi's about to take his fourth, and that means the economy once again is going to start to skyrocket, and 3-3 is about to complete for Dayshi.
That's a big, big deal with that 3-3 finishing. We don't even see the 3-3 started yet for Miniraser, who's only just got his Hive well and truly underway. There's only +2. He now realizes as he clicks on it, it's like, oh, well,
damn it.
It's what we were talking about before.
No creep spread is going to make every single fight that Dayshi takes superb. It's going to be so much easier for him. He can move down and see the 5th dot to be taken and can slowly edge down. It's going to be hard for the Banelings with speed to engage properly here.
That keeps happening, man.
It's okay, Claris.
I'm not very good at observing and casting at the same time.
You're a Claris of all trades.
I will try my best. Banelings now off creep aren't really going to do a whole lot. As he continues in from either side once again, but he's trying to split as best he can towards the hatchery. Is a really good split here by Dayshi. The 3-3 will just continue powering on through. And Miniraser now is up against the ropes. He has to be careful about that.
And the game's starting to go, as we can see. I think it has been for the last couple of minutes in favor of Dayshi once that 4th has been established. No creep spread, no 5th base for the Zerg player, not being able to really fuel his Hive tech, which is upgrades and Ultralisks and so on. And Dayshi's creep, the lack of creep spread has really helped Dayshi take these fights. He's always had good fights throughout this game, very efficient fights.
Yeah, if he drops a scan now, cleans up these active creep tumors, that'd be fantastic for him. But at the same time, he has to deal with all of these Zerglings that swing, and majority of them to the left-hand side. But the Banelings on the right don't really pin anything in with that. And now Dayshi, it just powers on through. Too much firepower here from the Terran. What a fantastic game he's played out throughout, despite losing things at the beginning.
Yeah, I think Dayshi would be a great contestant for Dancing on Ice, Kalaris.
He certainly would. There's quite a lot of ice here. And there you go. GG, well played, guys. Miniraser unfortunately loses for him, and then Dayshi manages to power on through 2-0. And he's always been looking great in that matchup.
Yeah, and I mean, I like that acknowledgement there, because Miniraser's saying, dude, I had such a good advantage, yet I couldn't win the game still. And Dayshi is our first player today into the round of 16. goes through in first place, his first time in the round of 16, having dropped in the round of 32 in the past couple of seasons he's been in Premier.
Yeah, and taking out San and Miniraser throughout this group has shown that, you know, he's a tool of all trades himself, or jack of all trades even. But now we'll go to a short break, and then when we're back, we'll have an interview with the winner of Group D, Mr. Millennium's Dayshi.